Assalamu alaikum. Hello, my name is Mohammed Shabi. I'm from East Meets West Educational Services. The title of the presentation you're about to watch in a minute is Educational Lessons from Aviation. Here, 2 lessons from building and operating aircrafts and the implications of those 2 lessons for our classrooms are presented. In the first 20 minutes of the presentation, we will watch 5 short clips about the 2 lessons from the aviation world. While watching those initial 20 minutes, I would like you to think about the lessons we can learn and their relationship to our teaching. I know the relationship between building airplanes and flying them and teaching might be far-fetched, but if you think a bit, you will find that they do have things in common. In the last 5 minutes of this short presentation, I will share with you what I think are lessons I personally learned from the aviation world that can guide us as how and what we should do in our classrooms. This presentation is divided into 3 sections. The first 2 sections present to us the 2 lessons we can learn from aviation, and those are extracted from the 5 clips you will be watching. The third section presented in the last 5 minutes shows beneficial teaching techniques learned from aviation. I know you're going to enjoy watching this video, and please feel free to contact me on this email for any queries or comments. Thanks, enjoy it. The presentation is educational lessons from aviation. What's aviation? It's flying. Flying is not fun. Flying is more like taking this bag and going on the stage. Very difficult. This is flying. If this is the airplane, you try to squeeze yourself and go to your seat, and then you take your bag, you try to put it in the overhead compartment, very difficult. And then you sit, and if you're lucky, you find somebody like Khalid Matar who's slim enough to make you feel comfortable. If you're unlucky, the person sitting next to you is kind of overweight and you're squeezed in your seat. And if you take a window seat, it's not good. Why? Because the window's too small to look at them. If you take the aisle seats, again, disadvantages. Why? Because people going back and forth to the toilet keep pumping into you. If you sit in the middle, you're squeezed between people. And not only that, but you have to sit like this all the time. You cannot stretch your very weak legs. The only good scenario is if the seats next to you are empty so that you can have some sleep. That's aviation. Now, Boeing, the big airline company, has promised to change that with this fantastic airplane here. It's called the 787 Dreamliners, and they say it's the world's most anticipated airplane. I have a short video for you to show you what this airplane is really like.
Boeing 001 Heavy Control is verified launching 4717.
December 15th, 2009.
Now.
The moment of truth for the 787 Dreamliner as it climbs into the sky for the very first time. Boeing is promising something more, something dramatic, to change the very way it feels to fly.
So when you walk in here, first thing I notice is it's wide open. Yeah, I hope so. That's what we want you to notice. We want
Boeing's Blake Emery has spent nearly a decade studying what people want from the moment they step aboard.
The main thing we're after as someone crosses the threshold is to have a psychological break from everything that went before. The parking, the traffic, the security lines, the rushed sense of trying to make your plane.
So we walk in here and you want us to have a different feeling.
Exactly. Back there.
Emery took us through the cabin to explain some of the psychology behind the 787's design.
We think a lot of your perception inside the airplane is based on how you perceive the width of the airplane literally at your eye level. And so we do everything we can to push the width of the airplane out at that level. It doesn't enter into your thinking consciously, but it enters into your thinking unconsciously.
Chakali Shore, bigger windows, more comfortable seats, bigger aisles. It's a fantastic airplane. If you want to buy one, it's not expensive. $288 million one. That's 1.2 billion riyals. They spent $23 billion developing that airplane. They spent 10 years to develop it. How did this become possible? That's the question I'm talking about today. And this will take us to slide 2. This presentation has 3 sections. The first 2 sections are on how that plane was made. And the third one is what lessons do we learn from the making, the building of that airplane. The first section is called sharing knowledge. Let's see. The fantastic facts I told you about building this airplane, and because of the shuttle time, I have more facts. But it's a fantastic machine. Now, more facts are in this video. Watch closely.
A couple of years ago, I had a chance to go up to Seattle and work with a number of the program managers that are overseeing the development of the new 787, the new Dreamliner, arguably the most complex machine that has ever been made. And what they shared with me is it's even more complex than I had thought, because the 787 is being built at the same time in 17 different countries by people speaking 13 different languages. So for example, the fuselage section in the front, everything that's in light blue, is built in the United States. Everything that's in green, the main fuselage component, is being built in Italy. Everything that's in red is being built in Japan. Everything that's in yellow is being built in China, etc. So the question I had is, how is it possible for someone in, say, Shanghai, let's say the person who's working on the wing root, to know how to build their component to within tolerances of, in some cases, millionths of an inch, so that it perfectly lines up with a component being built by someone in Italy and a component being built by someone in Japan. All the pieces get shipped back to Seattle and they snap together and they fit.
This is a question. 6 million parts, 6,000 people are working together to build this airplane. Imagine that we, in this auditorium, try to build this plane. Will we be successful? It's very, very difficult, especially those people are from 17 different countries. They speak 13 different languages. How did they do that? The answer is deceivably simple. Boeing knows what's doing. They know how to build planes. That's number one. But Boeing did not build that plane on its own. They got other people to help them. So Boeing knows how to build planes, and they told other countries how to build the parts of this plane too. So Boeing knows, and it shares the knowledge. And this is a good lesson for our students. I wish more students were here. That's number one. Number 2, communication between 17 countries. Can you imagine what it is like to communicate in 13 different languages? It's impossible, almost impossible. So Boeing had very good communication. So the 2 lessons we learned from aviation, or from the building of this fantastic machine, very complex machine, the most complex machine on earth ever. The 2 most important lessons are, they have the knowledge, they share the knowledge in groups, they communicate very well. The video after this is a very good example for people in Boeing working together to build.
It's time to hang the engines. massive concrete blocks hang on the wings, where the engines will go. Without them, the aeroplane would tip back on its tail. Each engine weighs 7 tons, and there are 4 engines to get off their trolleys and onto the wings. That's like hanging 4 bull elephants. It's a job to do slowly and carefully.
Let me put a little tension on it and test it.
If the 4 winches are slightly misaligned, it won't go in square, and they're in trouble.
45. Got your wheels where you want them?
Our team's a pretty tight unit. We work together fairly well. We all have our positions on the plane that we like.
0.
All right, start pulling your pins. Yep. We communicate well together this way. Keeps us from getting into any troubles. Harness up for safety.
For safety.
We're about 12 inches away. We're going to pull the bolts from the front fitting. There's a pin up front that lines up the forward mount. So we lube that up with anti-seize. We'll come up another 6 inches, make sure everything is clear. Then we'll come up the last 6 inches and then put all 4 bolts in. Very close tolerance, within a thousandth of an inch. Come on up.
It only takes 8 bolts to hang these massive engines.
All 4 started, all grabbing.
Here you go, 50%?
Not yet. I'm still getting these down, Axel.
Okay. The torque on those bolts are 625 foot-pounds on the rear, 375 foot-pounds on the front. The fronts are designed to shear off. That's per design, and that's in case there is any problems that the engine will shear at the front, fall back, and break away from the plane without taking out wings or flaps or any of that. There's one.
There are 3 more engines to mount. Once again, the crew will need to burn the midnight oil to get the job done.
You can tell those people are working together well, they have the knowledge, they communicate very well too. What if we build this fantastic machine? Can we fly it solely? Can one person fly this machine? Can one person fly the plane? No. You have the captain, you have the first pilot, and you have a mechanic, and the launches you have 2 mechanics. So, what if the people in the cockpit, the people who are flying the plane, cannot communicate and cooperate? This is what I put in the social skills part. Now, if you look at the top picture, it's a picture of a flight called Aviation 052. That plane crashed. And when you watch the video, you won't believe why it crashed. Take a look.
Only minutes before landing, Flight 52 is handed off to a JFK tower controller whose shift is about to end.
Avianica 052 Heavy, Kennedy Tower 22 left. You are number 3 following 727 traffic on a 9-mile final.
Bianca 052 Heavy, roger.
Avianica 052 22 left, wind 190 at 20, cleared to land.
Clear to land, Avianca 052 Heavy.
Are we cleared to land now?
Yes, sir, we are clear to land.
With about 10 minutes of fuel remaining, and nearly 4 kilometers from the runway, Flight 52 finds itself flying into violent wind shear, forcing them to slow the plane down. To save the plane, Captain Caviades applies full throttle, burning up more of the plane's precious fuel.
Give me the landing gear up, landing gear up!
Avianica 052, you are making a left turn, correct, sir?
Tell him we are in emergency.
2,000 feet, that's right, to 180 on the heading, and we'll try once again. We are running out of fuel.
The analysis of this sentence is ridiculous. Now, look at the last word, running out of fuel. What does it mean? Does it mean you cannot make it to another airport to land? doesn't mean that you're getting worried about your fuel level. It has no meaning in aviation. The magic word in aviation is emergency. And look at the whole sentence. In the first part of the sentence, he said, this is acknowledgement of receiving of information. That's right, 102 heading, and we're running out of fuel. This is like the restaurant getting Sami, he's my waiter, right? He's getting me a drink and I'm here, and he's asking me, would you like some more coffee? And I say, yes, I'll take some more coffee, and I'm choking on a chicken bone. If you are choking on a chicken bone, what would you say? Hell, I'm choking on a chicken bone. He helps communicate that. And look at that between the two parts of the sentence. That caused the plane to crash. The ATCs did not appreciate the emergency situation, and that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
What did he say?
I already advised him that we are going to attempt again.
Advise him we are in an emergency. Do you tell him?
Yes, sir, I already advised him.
But the tower controller, at the end of his shift, transfers Avianca 52 to his counterpart in approach control. They'll have to begin all over again.
Contact approach on 118.4.
Avianca 052 Heavy, New York.
Good evening. Climb and maintain 3000.
Advise him we don't have fuel.
Climb and maintain 3000. We are running out of fuel, sir.
Okay.
Avianca 052 Heavy,
I'm going to turn you about 15 miles northeast and then bring you back onto the approach.
Is that okay with you and your fuel?
What did he say?
The guy is angry. I guess so. Thank you very much.
I guess so. Thank you very much. They're about to crash.
Flight 52 is instructed to fly a long approach pattern for another landing attempt. The plane is down to its last dregs of fuel as the crew waits for final clearance from ground controllers.
Did you get clearance yet?
Can you give us a final yet? Avianca 052 Heavy.
Avianca 052.
Affirmative, sir. Turn left, heading 040. Climb and maintain 3000.
Negative, sir. We are running out of fuel.
Okay, turn left, heading 310, sir.
Set flaps 14.
Okay, and you're number 2 for the
approach. I just have to give you enough room so you can make it without
having to come out again.
Okay. We're number 2 and flying 360 now.
Avianca 052 Heavy, turn left, heading 330.
The lights in the aircraft start to flicker, a sign that the engines are being starved of fuel.
330 on the heading, Avianca 052.
Flame out! Flame out on engine number 4! Flame out on it! Flame out on engine number 3!
From the runway. The passengers can hear the sound of the engines beginning to shut down.
Avianca 052, we just lost 2 engines and we need priority, please.
Avianca 052.
Turn left, heading 250. Intercept the localizer.
250, roger.
Select the ILS.
ILS.
Avianca 052, you're
15 miles from the outer marker. Maintain 2000 until established in the localizer. Cleared for ILS 22 left.
Roger, Avianca.
You select the ILS.
He's ready on 2.
I live in Cove Neck in Oyster Bay, and there is a plane crashed in our yard in front of our house.
Avianca Flight 52 has crashed on Long Island, New York, less than 28 kilometers from JFK Airport. From deep in the woods, medical technician Bob O'Brien can hear the survivors before he can see the shattered 707. 37 fire and rescue companies from Nassau County are quickly mobilized. The rescue is the largest pre-9/11 operation of its kind in the New York area. When daylight breaks 10 hours later, 85 survivors have been pulled from the wreck. The lead flight attendant is the only member of crew to survive the crash. Of the 11 babies on board Flight 52, all but one are found alive.
You might think I'm exaggerating. You might think that there was something else went wrong with that plane. There was nothing. The first officer failed to communicate clearly. The second video will prove that, and there are multiple videos. You can check National Geographic on the website. The first officer again failed to communicate with the captain of the plane to tell him that he was doing something wrong, and the captain crashed the plane. At the beginning of this semester, I had a student, and he came into my classroom and he was wearing shades. He was wearing sunglasses. And what we teachers do is that we naturally ask our students to take off the glasses, right? It doesn't make sense. I want to see the students like to see if he's learning. So I told the students, take your shades off, please, and he did. Later on in the semester, I learned that those were not shades. Those were specially designed sunglasses because the student had poor eyesight. Now I have a question for you. That same student, would you trust to be on a plane that student is flying with that very poor communication? No. That's a rhetorical question. I don't need to know the answer. But definitely the answer is no. He failed to say, I'm wearing those sunglasses to be able to see the board well. So what is he going to do in the cockpit? Another example. The 4 mechanics that were building the engine were installing the engine. Would you trust to fly in a plane if those 4 mechanics were your students? Sometimes, or most of the time, that engine installed to the plane has to be with an accuracy of 1/1000th of an inch. Would you trust to fly in a plane if your students were building the plane? Again, the answer is no. Why? Our students cannot work together. 4 years now, I've been working here in BAS, and every year I ask my students, did you work in groups before? You have primary school, you have junior high school, and you have senior high school. Have you ever been put in groups? And the answer is, no, never. We were always asked to sit, fold our arms, and get knowledge from the teacher. Now, when we put our students in groups, do you expect that students will go to the group, sit, and work comfortably and be able to work in groups? Hopefully we can with the application of these principles. Students don't work in groups because they have a low status. Students feel that they have poor English. They don't know Hadith. They don't know chemistry. So they tend to shun and shy and not speak because they have low status. So what can we teachers do to improve their status? We explain to them different abilities. You can take these videos, same videos that I showed you, and show to your students. Tell your students, no single student can, or no single person can do work by this on his own. In the new world, there is no place for stars. Not in sports, not in soccer, not in manufacturing and building. If you are a fantastic worker and you don't work with other people, you are a failure. So you need to work with your group. The second thing, and I consider the more important thing, is that assign high status to students. Tell them, Ahmed, your English is not that good, but you're very good at soccer. Muhammad, I heard that you draw fantastically. Now, because the teacher has a high status, and he says so, the students and other people in the group believe that about him, and that gives them higher status. That's not the only thing. The last two things is that we make group work in the wrong way. There are elements that have to exist in group work. Two elements that everyone agreed upon. Number one is called goal mutual interdependence. And what does that mean? It means we, not I. We do this together. We are not four individual students at the table. We are working together. How can we achieve that? I chose one technique only. You put students together in one group and you make them compete against other groups. So they love to work together to defeat other people. The second thing that has to exist in group work is individual accountability. I make sure that I learn and you learn. That's what individual accountability. What is this about? It's about assessing if the students learn. So how can we do this? It's very simple. After you finish the task, 4 people, make each one in the group teach somebody else what they have learned. This is only one technique. So to wrap up, I know I took too much time, I'm sorry for that. To wrap up, from aviation, we have 2 lessons. We learn together, we communicate clearly. How to do that in the classroom? Give students, low status students, higher status, make them work together to defeat other groups, and make the students assess what they learn, make the students teach other people. I have another video that I want to show you. I know it took more than what I was allowed. Thank you very much for listening, and